Hi, my name is George Robinson. I'm one of the product designers for Leadoots, and in this video I will be demonstrating how to use the invite schedule. And to get to the invite schedule, we just, as always, we click on our account, we double click on the account, and you can see this was the previous one that we added when we were creating our prospect list. To create a new invitation schedule, we simply click the new schedule button and then invite to connect. The terminology would be different if you'd set up a Facebook or a Twitter account. This would read invite to follow because of the different terminology across these different platforms. But we're going to click invite to connect, and we're presented with this invite panel. And this is really where we can set up more than just adding a message. We can set up the frequency, the times in which those messages go out on the days, and also how many messages we want to send each day. So this portion of the panel is responsible for managing the traditional invites. So what do I mean by a traditional invite? So if I go to my social media account, you can see that I've got a search here, and along the each one of these prospects or profiles, you can see we've got a connect button. So if we were traditionally going to invite these people, we would click connect. We could either add a note, put in our message, or we could just send directly without a message. If we were to leave this empty, then it would be the equivalent of sending an invitation without a message, which is something actually over time we've noticed um, provides considerably better results. There might be a reason to use an invitation message at this stage, but what we've learned is that it often has a detrimental effect on any kind of marketing. For some reason, when prospects see or perceive that your interest is purely sales or marketing, they tend to ignore that opportunity to connect with you. So it's potentially better to leave that empty at this stage, but it's probably worth testing this on your own target audience. This section here is quite unique to our product. Last year, LinkedIn limited the amount of invitations that could be made in 1 week. They limited it to 100 a week. But what they did continue to leave available was the ability to send invitations in a bulk way. So what do I mean by that? Well, uh, if you were to click on the My Network section of your LinkedIn account, there is an option to send invitations through email addresses. So if you have the email addresses of the persons that you want to connect with, you can concatenate those in a big string, comma separated, and you could insert those into this page. And when you click continue, that would be the equivalent. That is the equivalent of sending multiple invitations to connect at once. The challenge is most business owners, most marketing people don't have those email addresses in advance to be able to do that kind of thing. Our custom search facility allows our users to get at data that provides those email addresses, and even mobile phone numbers for different types of campaigns like SMS or WhatsApp. But in this case, having those email addresses allows us to continue to add more invitations than what the daily limit allows. So if I go back to this, you can see what we're saying here is we're saying we're going to use 20 traditional messages, like I've mentioned earlier, and to supplement that, we're going to use 40 of these bulk invitations. If we wanted to do 100 a day collectively, we could update that to 80, and that would make sure that we've got 80 email addresses that are from our original pool of prospects, and it would insert those into that bulk page, and that combined with the 20 traditional invites would give us our 100 a day. Now this is important because we do have rules. We can specify what types of emails we're going to use based on what we're trying to achieve. So when we are collecting these email addresses, we have the option to say whether we need them to be work related emails, company emails, or personal emails. or work or personal, doesn't matter as long as there's an email. And then there's some additional rules that say if we've got a personal email, and use that. Um, if no work email is available, and the inverse of that at the bottom, use the work email if no personal email is available. So that just gives us some fine tuning as to how we want to engage with some of these prospects, because some some business owners prefer to be contacted through their work email than their personal email. It just depends what you're trying to achieve. If you're a recruiter, it's probably more likely that you'll want to engage with them through their personal email rather than have other job offers coming through their work email. So that's something that you need to consider when you're using this invitation. The same applies, even though we've discussed LinkedIn, the same applies to the other platforms. So if we've gone and collected prospects for Facebook, the same principle applies. The invitation will simply go through each one that you've got in your prospect list, and it will add them as friends. Again, if you use a message, it will include that message first. If you don't, it will just simply click, click, click. But it will do it in a bit more of a natural order than this. It will actually imitate a search. So, for example, if Terry Edwards was in our prospect list, it would actually type Terry Edwards, and any other information that would mean that we would be naturally finding this person as if we would as a regular user of Facebook. And the same with Twitter. If we run a search on Twitter, you can see the terminology is slightly different. We've got follow. It's the same principle though. It would actually invoke, haven't already collected this data, it would actually invoke this in the search, and as each person comes up, it would follow those individuals, and it would be as natural as it would be if you were doing this yourself. So this all leads us then to our third stage, which is once sorry, I'll just go ahead and add that. We're not using a message, and you can see now we've got two schedules. If I were to just press the play button on this, it would start inviting those people, because you can see we've already got 50 available prospects waiting. So those 50 over the course of the next 2 days would be used up in this particular schedule here. But of course, all of this is leading us to once they've connected with us and have accepted our friend request, then we're going to be sending them a follow-up message, and that will be something we'll demonstrate in the next video.